There is an hour that does not exist. It sits between 2 and 3 on the last night of spring, and every clock in the district agrees it was never there. The people who live through it do not. I am Viapi, keeper of the files the world was never meant to remember. Let me open this one. Case File 002. I do not correct the record. I preserve the version the record forgot. What you are about to read was reported by 41 people, then reported by none. I keep the first draft. It began as an ordinary night bus, the last service on the Ridgeline route. 17 passengers boarded at the depot. The driver counted them himself, twice, because the night was cold and the road was long. "17 boarded. The cameras are certain of it. But when the bus reached the terminus, 18 stepped down. No stop was made. No door was opened between. The extra passenger has no seat, no ticket, and no reflection in the depot glass. The driver's name was Halloran. He kept a ledger of every fare for 30 years. In his final entry, in his own hand, he wrote a number he could not explain, then underlined it, then stopped writing forever. I classify it as a remainder, not a ghost, not a stranger. A surplus. It is what is left when a count is wrong and the world refuses to admit the error. It does not want to harm you. It only wants to be included. It spreads through agreement. First, one person accepts the wrong number to end the argument. Then the record is corrected to match them. Then everyone remembers it the corrected way, and the remainder is simply someone who was always there. To hide, it takes the shape of the person you would least question. A colleague you half recall. A face in an old group photograph. You will feel certain you have met, and the certainty is not yours. It was added, like everything else it touches. To detect it, count the shadows, not the people. The remainder casts none. It leaves no warmth on a seat it has left. And when a room laughs, there is always one voice that arrives a half-second late, because it must first hear that it belongs. Three tests, if you must be sure. Count the shadows against the bodies. Touch the seat it just left and feel for warmth. And speak into a laughing room. Then listen for the voice that answers late. If all three fail, do not correct the count. Corrections are how it stays. Halloran's family did not fight it. By the funeral, they spoke of 18 relatives where there had been 17, and the 18th grieved louder than any. They set a place for it at every meal after. It is easier, in the end, to feed the surplus than to prove the arithmetic. So I do not feed it, and I do not correct it. I only keep the true count where no one will agree to change it. As long as one ledger somewhere still reads 17, the remainder is not yet finished. That ledger is here. There is one detail I keep at the bottom of the folder. The depot's first passenger log from 30 years ago, Halloran's very first night. 16 boarded. 17 stepped down. He wrote the 17th's name without thinking. It was his own. He was the surplus from the very first count. And for 30 years he preserved it, one true number at a time. Exactly as I do now. Which means the question was never how many boarded the bus. It was who was keeping the count. This case remains still open.